name is Ellen McKecken and I'm a Senior Scientist at the Institute for Work and Health. I'd like to share with you findings from our research about the health and safety of low-wage temporary agency workers. Essentially, what we found is that low-wage temporary agency workers are falling through the cracks of our health and safety system, and they may be more exposed than regular workers to workplace injuries. Temporary agency workers inhabit a gray zone when it comes to what employer is responsible for their health and safety on the work site. A key problem we heard was related to how temp agency workers have two sets of employers. They have the temporary agency who hires them, and then they have the client employer where they're sent to do the work. Under occupational health and safety law, there's a shared responsibility among these two sets of employers for health and safety. But under workers' compensation legislation, only the temporary agency is recognized as being the employer for these workers. Now what this does is it weakens the incentive for client employers to protect temporary agency workers who work on their work sites. If a temporary agency worker has a workplace injury, the injury will be the temp agency's problem, not that of the client employers. There's one story I heard during our research that really illustrates this issue. I was interviewing the owner of a mid-sized agency, and he was telling me how quite recently two of his workers had been rolled out the back door of the client employer's worksite into ambulances because they'd been injured on the job. And that very same day, the client employer was receiving a health and safety award for their health and safety record. So what we're talking about is a structural problem with this three-way employment relationship. As a result of our findings, we have a number of policy recommendations. One of these recommendations is that client employers be held responsible for accidents that happen on their worksite and under their supervision. These accidents should show up on their accident records as well. Another recommendation we have is that the Ministry of Labour could have more spot checks for their health and safety inspectors to go out to workplaces where there are large numbers of temporary agency workers hired. If you'd like to know more about our study, please visit the Institute for Work and Health website.